What's up, everyone? So in this video, I wanted to talk about the right and the left brain again, and I wanted to talk about specifically the right brain and what can happen if you become too much in the right brain and too imbalanced. Okay, and you don't have enough of the left brain to balance you out. And I talked about this in previous videos, and I talked about how one of those things that can happen with people who are too much in the right brain is they become too superstitious, okay, or they often overthink, or they often just use their emotions to think, and they don't really think with any logic. All right, and when it comes to the political divide and the two parties that we have, the Democrats and Republicans, liberals, conservatives. But when it comes to people who are on the far left, the far liberal left, these people are very right brain and balanced. Okay, they're too much in the right brain. Okay, so much so to where they only think on emotions. They're often very superstitious, and they often, when it comes to people like that are in the Black Lives Matter, which is a big part of the liberal agenda, and people like that, and it often even consists of white people, particularly white women. People like this will often claim racism in society where there is none, okay, or they'll over exaggerate racism, okay, and this is a part of being too much in the right brain. This is an example of it. If you're too much in the right brain and you're not using enough logic, and you're just acting on your emotions, you're just thinking on your emotions, you're not going to come to the correct conclusions. And don't get me wrong, racism is prevalent in our society. And unfortunately, it's more prevalent than most people realize, especially when it has to do with the conspiracy and everything. And you know all about that. But, if you're thinking that everything around you is racist and everybody, who says a certain thing is racist, or you're constantly taking things out of context that people say, or you're judging people even though you don't personally know them, you have a problem. Okay, let's just say that. And you're overthinking, you're too trapped in the right brain. And it's funny how they call it the liberal left, because the people on the left seem to be very, too much in the right brain. And people on the right-wing conservative types, they tend to be too much in the left brain. So it's kind of funny how, the rulers of our world have kind of inverted things in that way. The political left, the political right, Democrats, Republicans. Okay, yeah, and people who are too much on the liberal left, superstitions often come about with them. And this is why oftentimes they think the way that they do. And many of them think, some, like, the rulers of our world are using the liberal left in many ways to destroy America. Okay, and they're brainwashing them and targeting them so hard in certain ways that they've basically made the liberal left a demonic cult. Okay, who are just crazy. Not all of them, of course, but yeah, like many of them are just, they're like hardcore pro-abortion, and they have, like, they'll go on the streets and have, like, fake babies that are dead and shit. Like, it's, just weird stuff, right? The liberal left is pretty out there, and they're pretty imbalanced. And this is one of the ways that they're imbalanced. They're way too superstitious. They're way too much in the right brain, right? And and that's just something to keep in mind. All right, take it easy.